fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Up the Blades.
What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I am, of course, Jimmy, and we are proudly sponsored by Action Coach Sheffield. If you're a growing business and you want support to continue that growth, they are the people to speak to. I'll be going to the next 90-day planning session, so thank you to them for their continued support. We're also sponsored by B&B Auto Centres. So if you're in need of an MOT and you're in and around the Handsworth area, give them a call. Let them know you're a Rambler and you'll get 50% off your next MOT. What a fantastic deal. Absolutely brilliant. So how are we all? Look, I know it were a disappointing result yesterday, but on reflection, do we not think it were a decent performance? I thought it were okay, you know. I thought it were okay. I think we're a little bit guilty sometimes of getting caught up in what are, you know, obviously we need points on the board, but it was less necessary after Leeds and Burnley's results. So we've not lost as much ground and we've got another very difficult game out of the way. I keep saying it, but this is the weakest we're going to be. This is the weakest we're going to be. And look, there's loads of things, loads of variables that we can think about, but we're only going to get stronger from here because we're going to get bodies back. Wilder said it himself. After this Watford game, we're expecting bodies back for Norwich. But not only that, we're going to have reinforcements. I'll be amazed if we haven't got anybody in for Norwich. So I want to know some names in the comment section who you'd like. I can let you know what I know, which is not much different to the last time we talked about it. But this is the warm-up, and this is, as it's the what we are also sponsored by Triple Point. You can see all our sponsors proudly displayed here. Thank you very much to all our sponsors for their support of the channel. And it's where we look forward, not backwards. And the beautiful thing about the Championship, something I've just put on X and Blue Sky, I'm trying, is the beautiful thing about the Championship, you don't have to dwell on a recent result because you're quickly turning it around and you're going again, aren't you? So, yes, you don't get a lot of time to enjoy great results, and sometimes that builds some great momentum for your side, but also you get a chance to put it right very quickly if it doesn't go very well. So I thought that game could have gone either way last night. I think over the two games, 3 points each is fair. I got a lot of stick from Sunderland fans as well, which I'm happy to retract a little bit because they put me in my place in terms of, I must have said at some stage they only had 2 players out. I didn't know enough about the ins and outs of Sunderland's injuries. They clearly had a lot more than 2 players out. Dan Ballard one that I'd completely missed, but there's others as well other than Rigg and the other one that I've forgotten the name of, to be honest, Tom Watson, that we mentioned. But they had a fair few players out. And look, I think there were 2 fairly evenly matched sides. I would probably say we shaded it yesterday, but I would say they probably shaded it at Bramall Lane. So 3 points, I think he's fine. I think he's fine against each other over this. I think it's fair. So it's another difficult game out of the way. Yes, we can just dust ourselves down and go again. But what do we know about Watford? Well, I didn't really get a chance, in all honesty, to speak to anybody from the Watford side of things, which is disappointing. But when we don't get a chance to do that, we've now got somebody else that can give us a little breakdown, can't they? So I'm just going to double check that this works. Let's hope it does, because it's really difficult when I'm doing it on my phone as well. Cause I'll come back to what we're going to do later in the week. But this is the view from the mountain.
This is the view from the mountain, with a heart so pure it's astounding. Man, mountain, strong and true. What a man, what a view.
Hello there, fellow Ramblers. Here we are post New Year, and as you can tell, a little bit hoarse from the celebrations. I hope everyone's not nursing too much of a sore head as we build up to Watford, and I certainly hope the players aren't nursing sore heads either. So we're up against Watford. We're going over to Vicarage Road, the home of the Glory Hornet boys, or something, whatever they call themselves. Elton John's favourites. Graham Taylor's old teams from there did very well for them back in the day. Not quite there now. And cleverly, the boss doing a really good job for him, actually. 8th position, just outside the playoffs. Only 2 points behind West Brom in 6th and just 3 behind Middlesbrough in 5th. So very, very much in with a shout. They've scored 34 goals this season, exactly the same as our beloved Blades, and they've also conceded 34. So that's a very middle of the road sort of form, but has acquired them quite a good position in the league. United's defence at the moment 16 goals, so quite a big difference in terms of how many they concede. I watched the game by chance, really, that they played in the last game against QPR. They were beaten 3-1. And just looking through some of their team and some of the familiar faces that we might know about. Backman, the goalkeeper, who I used to think was a really, really good, strong Championship goalkeeper. He didn't cover himself in glory. He was flapping around at crosses. Looked quite mad with his defence. It wasn't really working for them at the back. They conceded all 3 of theirs from crosses, which would lend itself towards some of our ramblers who suggest that we're not using Kiefer Moore properly. Like get that ball into the box, because they really, really struggle with balls into the box in the air. They've got a couple of players who will recognise. Tom Ince in the middle, now 32, changed the way that he plays, obviously, because he was a bit of an attacking winger sort of a player when he was younger. Musa Sissoko is now 35 years old, I saw. A very good athlete in the middle, obviously formerly of Spurs as well, we would recognise. The lads that I was quite impressed with from what I saw, their front 3, they've got Michael Bio up front, who's quick. You've also got Barr on the right-hand side, who was probably the pick of their players in that particular game. And Chakratudzi, just stitched myself up with the pronunciation. He plays on the left of the 3 at the top of the pitch. They have got threat. They carry the ball and they move with pace. Weaknesses, well, a couple of players that we definitely know about is Yasser Larouci. He plays on the left-hand side for them. He'll probably play out of his skin against us because he was poor for us. Pretty useless, really. Really shocked that he's still commanding a place there, but obviously fair play to him for going and doing that. They've got Dan Jebison on loan, one of our favourites.
Who the is that guy? Who the is that?
Not. So yeah, I don't think he's pulling up any trees for them. Found himself on the bench, and as I think me and Jimmy and Dave alluded to, we didn't think he was going to be pulling up any trees for any Premier League teams, that's for sure. He's on loan there from Bournemouth at the moment. So their December looks pretty mixed, to be fair. They've had some good victories against West Brom and Portsmouth, winning those 2-1, a couple of draws in there. But the last 2, obviously they lost 3-1 to QPR. They also lost 2-1 at home to Cardiff. So I think their form's a little bit indifferent, but they have lost the last 2. And like the Blades, I'm sure they're going to want to bounce back in this particular game and put on a good show for their home supporters in the new year. Yeah, I'm hopeful. The midfield looks like an area where we could dominate them with the aging legs of Ince and Sissoko in there. And again, we're going to have to be on guard for those wide men. Chukratudzi, if I say that right, he looked like he can carry the ball, and obviously with Bayo and Barr on the other side, on the right, it looks like they've got pace at the top of the pitch, which we will have to be very, very careful of, especially having watched Jack Robinson's most recent performance, and I'll say no more about it. So yeah, Blades, this is a game that if we're going to stay in the frame, I believe that we have to go there with the intention to win. I thought we were a little bit unlucky in the last game and it could have gone either way. But I think for the players, I know that we'll be still scraping the barrel with regards to team selection. I think that we should be looking to try and win this one. Get the ball out wide, get it to Harrison Burrows, cross the ball, Harrison, and I believe that is our way to victory against Watford.
This is the view from the mountain. With a heart so pure it's astounding. Man, mountain, strong and true. What a man, what a view.
That was the view from the mountain. There you go. There's your weekly earworm there for you. Everybody can go around singing that now for the next few days before I play it again on another Ramble. So thank you to Paul. Really appreciate my mountain jumping on and helping us out whenever we can't get a preview from the opposition. He's always the man to go and get in with the stats and stuff like that. So I really appreciate him taking the time today. Really quick turnaround. I asked him for that about 3:30 today. So thank you to the main man, Man Mountain, for sorting us out with that. Really appreciated. So normally I jump straight into your comments here, but because we've just heard about our Watford we're likely set up, or certainly in terms of who they're likely to be, who is likely to be involved. Czech Vertadze, according to Man Mountain. I think it's Czech Vertadze, but you know, what do you think we're going to do, or what would you do? What would you, if you were Wilder, what would you do? Well, that's the question. If you are born to be Wilder.
Born to be wild.
Tell.
Born to be Wilder is sponsored by Wellstone Landscapes. From lawn to luxury, creating outdoor elegance. Wellstone Landscapes covers most areas of Yorkshire. If you mention the Ramble, you'll get 10% off any work done. Call Paul now or find him on Facebook via the link below. Okay, so this is my team to face Watford, and I think, let's be honest, it needs to freshen up a little bit. We haven't got many options, but the one thing that is for sure, we're sticking with the main man, the best goalkeeper in the Championship. It's Michael Cooper, of course, between the sticks. I'm sticking with Alfie Gilchrist and Harrison Burrows as my full-backs. I appreciate Sam McCallum was in for the last game. Harrison Burrows hopefully just being rested for this game, so he'll come back with a bit more energy. I thought he played very well when he came on against Sunderland. Anel is right centre-back, but I have changed. I've made a change. I've done it. And in fact, you might see a couple of changes in this team. But Jack Robinson drops out. I thought it were a really poor performance against Sunderland. Not just the mistake, but the performance overall I thought was poor. Reece Norrington-Davies gets a chance. Now, I know he's an orthodox left-back, if you like, but I'd rather have him in than Jack Robinson. And this is my team, and that's me being honest. So Reece comes in alongside Anel. Moving into midfield, you'll also see a bit of a change. Sidney Peck gets the much-needed rest. I can't flog him for one more game. He just looks dead on his feet. So Tom Davies comes in, and maybe Sidney Peck replaces him so he doesn't have to play a full 90 minutes. He's alongside the little magician, Gus Hamer, who we're expecting that hopefully once he's back in the middle, maybe playing as a bit of an 8, where he can support O'Hare in the 10. Bit of a spoiler there for what's coming up, but Gus Hamer moves back alongside Tom Davies for this game as we're mixing it up a little bit and just trying to freshen things. Moving forward, we've got Sam McCallum coming into the side on the left-hand side. I'm not convinced about McCallum as a defender, if I'm honest, but I do like what he offers us going forward. He is an aerial threat as well, despite him not being the tallest of players. What a leap this boy has on him. And with that width as well, we can hopefully have both him and Burrows increasing the cross frequency and getting balls into the box as often as possible. On the other side, we've got Andre Brooks, who's more than earned his place in this team. He had a much-needed rest against Sunderland, obviously came on for a bit of a cameo, but I'm playing him this game, and I think this is a game where he can really make an impact in his recent upturn in form. I've got high hopes for Andre Brooks going forward. And up front, this might surprise a few. I'm going for Ryan Brewster. And it's for a number of reasons. It's not because I think Brewster's a better player than Moore, because I don't, if I'm honest. But he played better than Kiefer Moore the other day. Kiefer Moore looked laboured. I'd like to say he's carrying an injury, but I don't know whether that's true or not. I have heard murmurings about that, but we never know whether this is true or not. Ultimately, he had a poor game, and sometimes you have to take players out of the firing line, even if you think they're better equipped than others for a certain position. And I think while Ryan has blown hot and cold recently, I think he was very poor against West Brom when he came off the bench. But again, I thought against Sunderland he played all right. Give him a chance in that number 9 position. Will it make a difference? I'm not entirely sure. But at least if you play him in his orthodox position of a forward, a centre forward, and yes, he's on his own and it's a difficult job, but at least then we've half a chance. And this is what limited options we've got, isn't it? So that's my team. That's what I'm going with. Let me know whether you agree with me or not. I'm happy to hear your responses in the comments. And that was Born to be Wilder.
Born to be wild.
Tell.
So, what do we think to that then? I know there's some controversial shouts there maybe for some, but to me, it needs freshening up. I thought we looked absolutely out on our feet against Sunderland, and that's the way I'm freshening it up. I know Brewster's a bit of a rogue shout for some. Some have completely written him off, and I understand those that have, grown too frustrated with him really. But I think he's the most similar player we've got fit and available to Ty Campbell, and that is where we found most success with the lone striker role, if you like, with a bit more of a mobile number 9. Oni, you could chuck in there as well, but I think he's a little bit more similar to Kiefer Moore. whereas I think Brewster fits a similar mould to Ty Campbell. I know they've got different strengths and weaknesses. Some would say one's got a lot more weaknesses than others, but I'm not going to go there. So, plenty of comments to get through. We're 15 minutes in. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. Something like that's the saying, isn't it? That I try and get right every time. But again, I'm using the magic finger. So just to let you know, obviously we play Watford on Saturday. I would normally do a 90 after 90 straight after the game. I don't know whether we're going home Saturday or Sunday. If we go home on Saturday, then I'll do a 90 after 90 straight after the game. If we go home on Sunday, I'm going to hold off and do it in the studio and do a 90 after 90 on Sunday, because I wasn't happy with the quality that came out. And understandably, I have to do it this way. I'd rather, not get quite the optimum quality and still bring you some content if I think it's worth talking about. But I'd like to get the best quality level of content or standard of content out to you. So I may well hold off till Sunday. The only way you're going to know is keeping up with me on social media, but most importantly, subscribing and clicking that notification bell. So keep it Ramble. Let's get to some of your comments. Jay starts us off by saying, up the Blades, up the Ramble, like and subscribe. Thank you, pal. Chris says, evening, Jim. Can we all just pray for snow and give the lads a break? Up there, Blades, up the Ramble. Please like and subscribe. No, let's get it done, pal. I know what you mean. I know what you're saying. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if the game got pushed back because of our situation, but I don't want to get too far behind. And I think Watford are here for the taking, to be honest. I think we can get something, Chris. Happy New Year, Jimmy says, Dom. Happy New Year, pal. Hope you're well. Does recalling Sam Curtis indicate that we won't be bringing anyone in on a permanent deal this window, or just to cover Shackleton and Sariki? Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Like and subscribe. I think we've been very kind, or Peterborough have been very kind in allowing us to say we're recalling him. Sam Curtis, his loan spell at Peterborough has not gone well, by all accounts, and they wanted to terminate the deal. So I would be very surprised if Sam Curtis didn't go back out, probably lower down, to be honest. So no, it doesn't. It certainly doesn't indicate we're not going to do any permanent deals. I think we need to do some permanent deals, if I'm honest. Jack says, evening, Jimmy, need 3 points, in my opinion. I agree. Can't make silly errors like that again. Watford are not pushovers, so again, not going to be easy. Need some fresh faces and players back ASAP. David Vinter says, thought we were the best side last night. Can't legislate for individual mistakes that cost us. Another tough game on Saturday, but I'm confident of a win. Will be another sold out away end cheering. It will be another away end, sold out away end. Yes, it will, and I assume you'll be there, David, one of our quality away supporters. On all the way. Need reinforcements. Oh, cheering them on all the way. Need reinforcements urgently, onwards and upwards, up the Blades, up the Ramble. I completely agree with everything David said there. I thought we were perhaps just the better side against Sunderland. Individual errors cost us the game, including the Kiefer Moore update. Spoken to Andy the Blade. I know we're fans of Kiefer Moore. That were a shocking penalty. Absolutely shocking. So yeah, that's his update from that. So yeah, it was individual, and you'll notice all three are out of my team now. And it's not just because, but I think the errors are compounded because of how tired some of these players are as well. Good evening, Tim. Feeling a bit more optimistic about this one. I thought we were good last night, and this is one last push before reinforcements. 2-0 Blades. I absolutely agree, Tim. Let's hope so. It'd be really positive to come out with 3 points once a year and stay in the race. Obviously, we can't legislate for what Leeds and Burnley are doing, but with Burnley entertaining Blackburn, a local rivalry, I won't be surprised if we can get 3 points here. We'll be back in the top two. I would be surprised if we weren't. Dave says, I'm confident we can get 3 points on Saturday. Just need to get past that and hopefully have reinforcements for Norwich, up the Blades, up the Ramble. Evening, Jim, says Jack. Thought BBD and another would have been announced now. We had transfers lined up ready to go. We did, pal. We did. I don't know what the hold-up is. I'm not overly concerned, to be honest. We've got till Norwich, in my opinion. Though we're never going to be ready for Watford. So as long as... I'd rather they were right than rushed. So I'd rather wait and get the right players in. And yes, they were ready to go. So that's not really the point that you're making. But whatever the hold-up is, I don't think they'd have been ready to go for Watford. It's too soon. So, yeah, well, as long as they're here for Norwich, then there won't be an excuse, will there, Jack? Liam says, evening, pal, hoping for a win, but with squad stretched through injuries, going to be another tough ask. Was hoping to be bringing in 2 before Saturday. Never mind before Norwich, please. Like and subscribe, up the Blades, up the Ramble. Thank you, pal. Steve Holmes Good evening, mate. Hope you're well. Plenty of twists and turns to come. I honestly believe we're a very good side. We need some strength in depth, and we'll be laughing. Yeah, absolutely right. Steve, who is critical when necessary of the side, very opinionated in the group, which I love. He's not scared of giving his honest opinion on players and things like that, because he's one of our platinum ramblers. And if Steve's backing us saying we're a very good side, then we're a bit of strength in depth, we'll be fine. I'm happy with that. Happy with that. Jack says, amazed QPR managed to get Ronnie Edwards. Surely we were interested in him. Fans were. I've heard nothing out of Bramall Lane to say that we were linked. Brooks, Burrows and One have to start on Saturday for me. I'd go with Brooks and Burrows. I'm not against One starting, but I've obviously gone with a little bit more experience and mobility, to be honest, in Rian. With the likes of Ben Godfrey being touted, we are pushing the boat out. Yes, that's the latest rumour. Evening, Jimmy. Optimistic after last night's performance as the gatekeeper. Can't legislate for individual errors. Wilder will want to put one over these. 2-0 Blades, up the Ramble, like. And subscribe. Thank you, pal. Evening, Jimmy, says Andy. On reflection, I take the loss and move forward. We're still in a great position. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. And like and subscribe. Thank you, pal. Going back to last night, says Liam, we were the better team throughout the game. Just 2 mistakes from Robbo and Peck, and Anel getting beat too easily, and more missing the pen. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Please like and subscribe. Bring Billy Sharp back, says Daz. Better than that shower we have at the moment. Wow. Ray says, let's hope we put the disappointment of last night behind us and get the win we need, or else we could drift away, and we don't want to do that. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Like and subscribe. David says, just realise we only have one right back fit. Gilchrist, no cover. That's why Curtis has been recalled. I don't think... Well, it may be, to be honest. But I think we're comfortable putting Anel out there, or we've played Baptiste there, haven't we, when he's come on as well. It's a little bit makeshift at the minute. But again, I think it's all just get through this game and then Norwich. I don't think that's why we've recalled Sam Curtis. As I say, I think it was Peterborough trying to end the loan spell, if I'm completely honest about it. Beast Boy says, evening, Jimmy. Hope you're well. I am, mate. Hope you are too. We need a win for morale here. We'll be very surprised to see more starting upon reflection. Still think we can win the league. Wow, up the Blades, up the Ramble, up behind the Ramble, like it and subscribe. Matthew says, hi, Jimmy. Hope you're good, pal. After last night's game, looking at the table today, we're still in an amazing place to kick on with players coming back and new players coming in. Our tough period has gone now. It will have done after Saturday. I know they're out of form a little bit, but Watford away is a tough game. There's never easy games in the Championship. I think some people some people from other clubs misconstrued what I was saying in the comments yesterday. There's never an easy game in the Championship, but you know when you've got a really difficult run, and you have to say it as it is, don't you? But this, as I've said, and as Matthew sort of alluded to there, this is the weakest we will be all season. The weakest we will be is right now. We're only going to get stronger from here. We have to do, even if you don't agree with whatever signings we bring in, you don't think they're quite of the quality. You know, some people might not rate Tom Cannon, for example. But if we bring Tom Cannon in, then it's more options. Or even to go on further, this won't happen, by the way, but some are saying Ollie McBurney, and we know what a fan splitter is. Well, even having Ollie McBurney as an option off the bench, I know my dad won't agree with this, but most people would say makes us stronger than we are currently. So this is the absolute weakest and most vulnerable we're going to be at the moment. We're only going to get bigger and better from here as we strengthen our side. It's very much needed, as we all know. Beast Boy says, after thinking for a while, this team needs pace, and I know a certain young striker that can bring that for us, Ricky J. Jones. I'm not a fan. But, you know, all about opinions, pal. All about opinions. We need a centre-back urgently, says Andy, as it's painfully obvious. I would agree with that. Cooper, Gilchrist, Danell, Robbo, Burrows, Davison, Peck, O'Hare, Hamer and Brooks. More up top, says Jack. The only way is up now, says Matt, with Leeds and Co. Still got to play tough games. Any news on players coming up in the Ramble? Coming in, up the Ramble, up the Blades. We've talked about them all, haven't we, to be fair? Burton Diaz and Chowdhury are very widely talked about. Ben Godfrey's been mentioned today. I think there's merit to all of those rumours, if I'm honest. Tom Cannon and Emil Rees both mentioned as well. We like them all. Whether we're actually in for them all is another thing, isn't it? Man Mountain says, I'd play your intro again, mate, but it's so difficult when I'm on mobile. It's not quite a must win, but feels like a big game. Play well, and we can beat these. Come on, Blades, up the Ramble. I think it's a must win, this one. I think it is a must win, just for sort of put right a very difficult period where we haven't picked up points, where we feared we might drop some, and it's actually proven to be true. So, excuse me, Saints can live with yesterday. Other teams dropped points too, and we were more than in the game. Completely agree. Robbo always has a mistake in him. That's a quote. I don't know who originally said that, Jack. Don't know who originally said that. Jackson New says, hi, pal. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining us. Evening, Jimmy says, Nige. Big game against Watford. Going to be a very difficult game with the squad. Realistically, I'd be happy with a point. I wouldn't here. I wouldn't. You look at their form. You look at their lineup, like Man Mountain took us through. I think we can definitely get some. Hi, Jim. Hope you're good, pal. I am. Thank you, pal. Hope you are too. CW Presser was spot on, and mistakes were what cost us. Being joint second is still brilliant with the thinness of the squad. Excited to see who's first in. BBD, Chowdhury up the Ramble. Liam says, Ben Godfrey's recently been linked, but will his wages not be an issue? Pile up the Blades, up the Ramble. Please like and subscribe. Not on loan. I think we can more or less go for that calibre of player on loan. I think he will be on big wages, but no more than Harry Suter, I wouldn't have thought. Evening all, says Danny. Jimmy, there's a few rumours bouncing around today. How are you expecting this window to go realistically? Brereton Diaz is a must. Chowdhury would be nice. Rumours of a right wing back. Thoughts? I think there's merit to them all, pal. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Thank you, pal. 4-4-2 is the way to go, says Action Location. Feels like we're completely clinging on right now. Players needed now. Name Man Mountain. What? What's Davey Boy on about? Josh says R&D in for Robbo if he's fit enough, and would like to see someone other than Hamer on the left to bring in more control. Need a win up the Blades. Nice one, Josh. I think that's us on a similar wavelength there then, pal. Jimmy Ben Godfrey could be a good loan to buy. BBD buy, and a good quick striker and play two up top. I don't think we'll buy Brereton Diaz, if I'm honest. But yes, absolutely, I'm up for all that. Chris says, I thought United would get someone in before the Watford game, but it's not likely. For some reason, everything is pointing towards the Norwich game. Get them in before the weekend. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Like and subscribe. No, we're never going to be. We're always going to be really difficult. Benjamin Buffoon. I don't know if he's related to a friend of the channel, Benjamin Bloom. Put Gilchrist at centre back and Sariki at full back. Sariki's still injured, I think, pal. What's this sexy voice ramble? Danny, keep talking to me, pal. I love it. It will not go, this lingering throat thing, but I'm almost there. I only listen to Dave Leary, the key man. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He's the main man, Dave Leary. Hi, Jimmy. Question, is anybody coming for Brewster yet? No, pal. No. Well, he's played 2 games without injury now. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, says Pete. Nice. Keith was poor last game. He shouldn't start against Watford, says Jackson. I've taken that view as well. R&D looked very rusty when he came on, said Jack. He just hasn't had any minutes, has he? Jimmy, this is just a blip, says Michael. No team's running away with the league like Leicester did last season. Yesterday's results make it 2 from 4 teams. Yeah, it does. I like your team better than mine, says Jack. Been drinking, Jimmy? No, I agree. To be honest, that's what we want. But Wilder will play Robbo, Peck and Poor more. Benjamin agrees with the team. Brewster's last chance, says the Saint. Rye says, I thought we looked way better with Hamer in the middle. He was involved way more. I think he goes missing a bit out wide. Yeah, can do. It's not natural position, is it? Jimmy, you've made my day. That's by picking Brewster. I know that was straight away. Get Hamer back in the middle. Only United that would play him out of position. It's a needs-must team, says Nige. We can't really say anything about it at the minute. Reinforcements needed ASAP. Matt says, to be fair, that team is spot on with the players we've got to pick from. Moore and Robinson need a kick up the S. Lol. I would swap R&D with Gilchrist and still have more up top and get them balls whipped in. So who are you playing right back, Neil, if you're swapping R&D with Gilchrist? Because I had Gilchrist as my right back. Sariki's not fit. So it's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult with the players we've got or haven't got. And then you went there. Sorry, Ian. Mr. V, hi, Jimmy. I like your team. Let's give some players a rest and some, Robinson, that just don't deserve to be there. That should be enough against a Watford team. Jimmy, I think you should put aside whatever negativity you have for McBurney and bring him back to the late. It's not up to me. I don't get to make the decision, Michael. With Brereton Diaz, those two in the starting lineup that can cause any defence issues in this league. I've no doubt that we will be stronger with McBurney in the squad, but I think that money could be better spent elsewhere. Personally, I think we could. I'd rather have a Tom Cannon or an Emil Reese than Ollie McBurney. Personally, it's no goals at all since moving to his new club and not getting in and I think they're still bottom of the league. I don't care if Kiefer Moore starts. I'm still behind the lads, says Saint, but if Brewster gets a chance, so be it. Dave the Nose says, I think your lineup shows where we're screaming for where we are screaming for reinforcements. I think we played better than the results suggest last night. I agree, and can get a result on Saturday. Come on, you red and white wizards, up the Blades, up the Ramble. Like and subscribe. Kyle says, didn't Brewster score last time he played up top, then got dropped? Can't remember, to be honest. Possibly, very possibly. Leave it till Sunday, mate. Then if that makes you feel better, pal, we'll all be there. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, up behind the Ramble. Thank you, Nigel. We'll see. Man Mountain giving a quality rundown on Watford too. Absolutely right. Sam Curtis was at a very poor team. Just don't write him off just yet. I don't write anybody off in terms. You look at Femi Sariki is a great example of somebody who can have. Well, he had 3 poor loan spells, really poor, and he's come in this season and made an impact on our first team. So I certainly don't write Sam Curtis off. What is he, 18, 19? Not at all am I writing him off. But in terms of what we need at the moment, we need players that are ready to go, don't we? And if you're not getting in the Peterborough side at the moment, you're not going to get in a team chasing the Premier League. Kiefer Poor needs dropping, says Danny. I'd rather see Brewster or One. Rather go 4-4-2 if it helps with the issues and personnel available. Got to come out of this game with points. David says, agree with resting Peck. It must be redlining. And also Davis risking injury. Yeah, I think he is, to be fair. Kyle Daly should have scored last night, especially when he should have nicked the ball off the keeper. That's Brewster, isn't it? We were by no means outplayed last night, says the same. Still here clinging on with this crazy thin squad. Jason says, what about a cheeky bid for Archer? Now we're supplying our forwards. Hope you had a great New Year, Jimmy. I did, thank you, pal. I would love Cameron Archer back. I know I'm probably now in the minority with that because he didn't pull up any trees when he were here last time. And I think that, moreover, people that I very soundly respect their opinion, such as Dave the Nose, would question his attitude as well. Did he down tools on us a little bit? And is that unforgivable? If that's the case, I still think he'd score goals in this team, personally. Dean says, I think the amount of games around this time of year is ridiculous. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Thank you, pal. And I completely agree with that. Hi, Jimmy. Can anybody explain why Hamer doesn't take the pen, says John? I think it's just been a case of there were no reason for Kiefer not to take the pen until he missed. And now we've got a reason to change it. Personally, that's how I feel it is. And I think I always like the number 9 per se, the man who's the goal scorer or should be a goal scorer in a side, taking the pens. You know, if Brewster plays up front, then I'd have to say he should have been the one taking the pen. But Gus Hamer just makes you feel a little bit more relaxed on it because he's so technically gifted. So I will put Gus on spot kicks, or even Harrison Burrows at this stage. Pretty sure Wilder will let us know soon if these new owners are on the cheap or not. No, from what I hear, a lot of good noises coming out of Bramall Lane about the relationship between Wilder and the new owners, building up quite the rapport already, which is great to hear. Chris says, you better be coming home Saturday morning, Jim. Heavy snow forecast from Saturday night till Monday morning. Interesting. That's something I can use to my advantage. Get Mrs. Ramble back and watch the game at home and then jump straight on for a 90 after 90. Saw a post on the Blades Facebook group saying Cooper isn't that good and can see why he only cost 2 million. Some fans are embarrassing. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, up Jimmy's Love Shack Caravan. Like and subscribe. Yeah, look, everybody's entitled to their opinion, pal. I think that's ludicrous. I think we definitely need to stop signing injury-prone utility players. Not been able to use them yet. Do you mean Shackleton? I don't know who you're referring to there, other than Shackleton, to be fair. Simon says, liking the Born to be Wilder selection, Jimmy, defo worth a change. We'll come back stronger with incoming transfers. And when we get some of our first team back from injuries, up the Blades, up the Ramble, like and subscribe. Rai says, it's all about this January window, which decides if we go up through the autos or have to battle it out in the playoffs. Absolutely right, Rai. It's a key window for us now. And you shouldn't ever have to rely on January, but because of the stage that we're at in the rebuild, we've got some good first teamers in the summer. I think it was an unbelievable window, to be honest. But now that we're starting to lose a few through injury, we need to replace them, and we haven't got the bodies. Jimmy, if we get coloured boots back, we should play him at centre-back as he was our best defender. Rod Go says, agree, Jimmy dude. Very big game. Must win for me. Can't see Dirty Leeds dropping many points. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. They just seem to keep squeaking them out, don't they? And that's sign of a winning, successful side. Ollie Mack for centre-back and Vera from Telly up front, says Andy. I said he's a little horse who doesn't love a dad joke. Yeah. I know, sorry, mate. You know what it's like. Leaky Lloyd says, easy Jim. To all those doubting Tom Cannon, let's not forget he hasn't exactly been at top teams, but still managing to find the onion bag. Onion bag, I love that. Not heard that for ages. He's going to see way more action with us than One and Stoke. I think that'll have been PNE, Preston. Let's not forget, if Cannon does come to us, he'll be a team offering him way more service than PNE and Stoke, and he doesn't struggle to find the net. I've lost my place now. Find the net with them, can score all sorts of goals too. Yeah, I really like Tom Cannon personally. Get big Gary Medine back, says Matt. Evening, Jimmy, says Bry. Thought United played well, a bit unlucky, up the blades. Jack says Gus on pens from now on. Any news on Solly March? I would love it, but obviously that's not a genuine link. That's a Man Mountain suggestion that I think fans immediately jumped on and thought would be really good. Have you had any news on centre back signing up the blades up the Ramble? Like and subscribe, says Jackson. Ben Godfrey is one to keep an eye on. I'm not saying it'll definitely happen, but I think it's one to keep an eye on. Cooper is unbelievable, says the City. I completely agree. You know my thoughts on Cooper. I've tried to pull myself back a little bit on the Mike Cooper praise because everybody knows what I've been banging on him for so long. I can't see us getting anything at Watford, to be honest, Jimmy, says Danny Boy. Team's so lethargic and tired. We will only see an improvement when we have enough of a squad to rotate so players can rest between games. Up the blades, up the Ramble. Is Macca still going to Leeds, says Benjamin? I don't think he will. I don't think he'll go to the Championship, in all honesty. Need an Osborne in this team, says Nige. We are missing a great versatility player. I disagree. It was an unbelievable window, but this is also the risk of playing with a small squad. That's true. Barry's been recalled by Villa from Stockport. Looks like he's heading for the Championship, but where? Come on down. Evening, Jimmy, says Holly. Prince Abdullah and COH Sports need a result on Saturday. Loving your team. Thank you, pal. And Jamie says Robbo's been playing well, to be fair, but as we all know, he does have a mistake in him. That is like the token line now, isn't it? Thought Brewster played okay and will only improve by having a run in the side. Up the blades, up the Ramble. Well said, Jamie. And that takes us to the end of our comments. I have gone slightly over, but I'm not back now until 90 after 90 after the Watford game. Will that be Saturday? Will that be Sunday? You'll have to be subscribed and tap the notification bell to find out. But for now, come on, you red and white wizards. Up the blades!